Hello and welcome. Here is another video about SMMware, software for running the day-to-day operations of senior move management companies. This video focuses on availability-based scheduling in SMMware and recent revisions as of May 2019. For an introduction to all the options for scheduling and calendars, watch our separate video, Schedules and Calendaring. For a general overview of SMMware, please see our introductory video at our YouTube channel. Just browse to youtube.com/SMMware or search YouTube for SMMware. Okay, let's begin. There are two parts to scheduling. First, employees enter their availability into the system. And second, the team lead sits down with the client and picks a time for work to be done based on when staff are available. For an employee to enter their availability, they go to the Associates menu and the My Availability command. Since I'm logged in as an administrator, I can pick the employee to manage availability for. And I'll go to a blank week to start with. And you can indicate your availability by clicking and dragging. And you can do that across the entire week if you're available the entire time. SMMware will split that up into separate days. And from there you can, if needs be, tweak the settings. You can drag and drop. You can resize. And if you need to get rid of one of these entries, you can just click on it. And you can also use the next and previous buttons to move between the weeks. The next aspect is to create an event. So I'm going to go to the admin menu and the master calendar command. I will create a new event. In this case, the system is set to use availability-based scheduling by default, as opposed to our other options, direct and invite-based scheduling. I'll move to a day where we have some availability. And you'll notice that the event start and end are updated as we go, so you don't enter those manually. They're being pulled from the calendar down below. I can pick an employee for them to work on the event, and I can indicate what their shift is going to be by clicking and dragging on the edges of their shift indicator. And this allows you to create shifts that are where an employee doesn't have to be at the event for the entire time. So if you need one person there in the morning and later on they're joined by other employees, the system now supports that. Our previous approach did have an assumption that every employee who attended the event would be there the entire time. And then based on feedback from you, senior move managers, we've made this change to allow some more flexibility for how the scheduling is handled, allowing people to work shifts or partial events. Once you have arranged for everybody to have a shift that you need, you can simply hit save. You can also set a couple of reminders. You can use the color palette to set a color specific to this event. And if needs be, you can skip the notification, the emails that go out to the employees if there's some reason to do that. But as I was saying before, once you are completely set up, you can go ahead and hit save. The system will email the appropriate attendees. Whoever you're logged in as, if you are one of the attendees, you're not going to get an email just because the system assumes that you already know about it since you're the one who just created it. After people have been assigned, naturally things can change, and SMMware allows you to update your event. If someone is assigned and then they call and say that they are sick and they cannot attend at all, you can release them, and that will after you have saved the change, they'll get an email saying that they're no longer part of the event, and this chunk of time will not be entered back into the pool of available time. On the other hand, if someone is not going to be on this job because you just realized that you don't need as many people as you thought, that means that you want them to be available for another job that might fall on that day. So you can, after you've clicked on release, you can click on it again to return that availability. And you can see that this person has their availability missing now because they're sick and need to go to a doctor. And this person has been returned to the availability pool. One thing to consider is that travel time is not part of the system, and you might want to leave a gap between events that an attendee is at that would be sufficient for them to drive from one event to the other, from one location to the other. From here, I'd like to show you what this looks like on an iPhone. So here we are on an iPhone. This is an actual live demonstration as opposed to a simulation. We will browse over to the My Availability section and select an employee. Find a week where they have an open gap so that we can enter some data. We'll show you how it looks to enter time for a whole week. You do need to touch and hold on an iPhone because it doesn't want to have spurious entries. And you can see that the system has entered your time, and from there you can manipulate it as before. And again, when you're dragging and dropping items within the iPhone, you need to touch and hold for 1 or 2 seconds in order for the phone to realize that it's on purpose. And from there you can modify your entries. From here we'll go over to the master calendar. And we're going to show this sideways. And we're picking a couple of people to work on this event. And from there you can manipulate your entries. And finally, you have to fill out the rest of the information. Go ahead and save it. And that is what it's like to enter information on a phone. The iPad works in a similar way, but of course you have more room, so there's less scrolling. The calendar for SMMware can be customized in a couple of ways. The initial default setting for attendee management in any given event can be availability director invite. So that way if you're always using availability, it'll start off there instead of having to switch it every time. We can also modify which days of the week are shown as working days, and we can modify the earliest and latest acceptable times for doing the work. So that concludes our introduction to SMMware and the newly revised availability-based scheduling. For more videos about specific features of SMMware, visit our YouTube channel by browsing to youtube.com/SMMware or searching YouTube for SMMware. You can also visit our website at www.smware.com, or you can call us at 240-285-4619 with questions or to arrange a demo. To be notified of new videos as they are added, subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to click on the bell. SMMware is an industry partner with NASM, the National Association of Senior Move Managers. We appreciate your time and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.